we are happy, and we want to tell you to keep on doing the good thing that we are doing. As the speaker said, this is a time for you to learn, and whatever you learn here, you will take it out. And it's not only the book that you have to learn. See, education should shape your character. And whatever advantages that you have, use it and use it well. Social media is one good thing, but people and students these days don't use it for the positive aspect of it. Use it positively.
They value people who can think clearly and help find solutions. Let me remind you of the biblical account of David and Goliath.
promise. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we'd like to know what you remember from yesterday. Right. Something small. This time I want to just you. Okay, before the question, I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you. If you're a boy sitting next to a boy, me, I don't like that one. Like, choose a lady. Okay. Ask of their name, the program they are doing, and their dream company. I'll come around to ask. So 1 minute, please ask them. I'm not seeing you do anything. I'll come around though. Okay, time's up. I'm coming. Hello. Okay. Yes, the gentleman. Is it, what color is your shirt? Okay, please tell us your name, the name of the person sitting by you, his program, and his dream company.
Okay, my name is Stanley, and then the person sitting by me is called Edward.
Okay.
And my dream company is Total Energies, and
Yes.
his own is Technip FMC.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Charlie, I'll give you a gift to perhaps a handshake or something. Thank you so much. Please clap for him. He has done my exercise. Are you jealous? You and your stingy clap, I do not understand. Please clap for him once again. Thank you very much. Okay, my next victim. Sir Isaac, please choose anyone. There are some nice gentlemen at the back there.
Okay, the name of the person sitting beside me is Brekum. He said his dream company is Schlumberger.
Okay, wow, that's nice. Please clap for him as well. He has done my exercise. Okay, one last victim. Please, Brekum, choose someone for us. Who should we call next? Sir Isaac. Please, your name, the person sitting by you, the name of the person sitting by you, his dream company, and the program he's doing.
I'm Portia Champong. The name of the person sitting by me is Cornelius. He's in level 400 petroleum engineering. He's a petroleum engineering student also. And then the name of his dream company is Bost.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Please clap for her as well. Okay. You see, yesterday you skipped one of my questions. Do you remember which question that is? Please, I want some response. Okay. I asked why you are dressed so sharply today. Is it for your crush or your future employer? So we'll come to you and ask. Okay, there's some nice gentleman me at the corner. Sir Tonam, please, we are waiting for your answer.
Okay, so my name is Etanam Kwesi Jimeni, and the person sitting by me is Eugene Dia.
That's not the question I asked. You want to skip my question. Why is that?
Please, the question again.
Okay, so I asked who you are dressed for today. Is it yourself, your future employer, or your crush? Because me, I know the person.
Okay, so I dressed for myself.
Okay, why is that? Why is that?
I want to look nice and also to at least attract the employers.
Pardon me. Please repeat what you just said.
Please, I said I dressed for myself and also to attract opportunities.
Wow. Okay, that's nice. Please clap for him. Okay. Thank you all so much. So I'd like to know what you learned yesterday from yesterday's session. We had a long talk. Some was so soulful, like mind renewing and all. I'm sure you took notes. I asked you and you told me that you were using your phones to take notes. I remember the faces very well. So we'll come to you. Ask just one thing you learned from yesterday's session. Okay. If it's a question to you, that's all right. But we want to hear from you. Please, when you're handed the mic, mention your name, the program you're doing, and what you learned from yesterday's session.
Okay. Please, my name is Rosemond, and I'm an electrical engineering student. Yesterday, I learned so many things, of which some of them are we should be mindful of what we post on social media. And then in everything we do, we should be humble and prayerful as well. That's what I learned from yesterday. Thank you.
Wow, indeed. I remember that as well. Please clap for her. All right, thank you so much. 2 more people. Anyone to volunteer? Okay, Isaac. Sir Isaac. Thank you, Ki. So please mention your name, the program you are doing, and what you learned from yesterday's session.
My name is Songsuma Abdul Rauf Hamid, and I'm a petroleum engineering student. I learned that we have to adapt in every situation we are in, and we have to learn to communicate very well with our peers in any situation we find ourselves.
Wow. Please, are you writing it down? Or you know it off head, so there's no need. Wow, you guys are smart. Thank you so much. One last person.
My name is Sabwanya Mohammed Kenneth, BSc Petroleum Level 200. I learned that employers are no longer looking for people with just certificates, but people who are able to solve problems, communicate effectively, and then work with teams. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Please clap for him. Clap for them. Right. So I want us to try one last exercise, right? I'll pretend to be your employer and you negotiate a price or a salary with me. So I want 3 people. Okay, let's see your negotiation skills. So the name of my company is Bella Petroleum Limited. Or let me add Bella Edinkra Petroleum Limited. Is it nice? I see. Whether you like it or not, it's my company and you've come. So you're applying for a role, say a field engineer or something, and I ask you to name a salary, a price, right? How would you negotiate with me if I should start with, say, 2,000 cedis? Please, anyone to volunteer? Because as a field engineer, I doubt 2,000 cedis is the right or the fair salary to get to you. Anyone? I'll come to you myself. Okay, so Isaac. We have 2 hands. Please clap for them like they have confidence. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Makabuchi Raymond, Petroleum Level 400. With your price tag, I think I have to take into consideration the location of the company.
Okay.
The living conditions, and also the distance. So with that one, I can say I'm staying at maybe if your company, you have to give me the location of your company, then we can go with the negotiation.
Okay, so before that, my company is located at Accra, and it's the particular town is maybe Enimadi.
Thank you very much.
And Enimadi is way far from the capital city, Accra.
No problem.
And it's an isolated area with dusty roads, poor roads or something. Okay. And say we don't give you lunch even.
Okay. Since you don't give lunch,
yes,
and since there is dust, you know very well that it is very harmful to my life. Maybe the dust. So you give me allowance, maybe safety allowances, and you give me security allowances too as well. In addition to the distance, you give me insurance, safety insurance. If you can give, then we negotiate the price. The price is not always a problem, but the feeding allowance do you give, maybe. So from the allowances, I can take like 3,500, adding to the
3,500. I'll give you 2,002.
With the 2,002 covering which of them? Because when you go to the hospital like this, looking at the dust nature of the thing, I can say, okay, I'll be visiting the hospital like every week. To do checkups.
Every week?
Yes, to do checkups because my life matters.
Okay, so 2,500 is as far as I'll go. What do you see? Will you take the job?
All right. This is how we do it. As time goes on, if the salary will increase, depending on the outcome of my work, because I want to do it based on my skills. Okay. So because of that, I'll measure it based on my skills, the outcome of my work. Let's say productivity is 70% when I came in, and then I'm able to lift it to 95%. Will my salary still be the same?
Of course not. We'll increase it.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. By 50 cedis. I'm just kidding. Okay, that was
thank you
great.
very much.
Thank you so much. Please clap for him. Okay, so one more person. So this time around, I'm going to change some things. My company will give you insurance and a monthly allowance for transportation. We'll feed you well, and it's a flexible place or company to be. That means like we can, how do I say it, promote you or take you to another field at any time that we want. Do you understand? And we'll give you the appropriate training as well. We'll be doing our normal safety classes and everything. So what would you say, what job would you like to apply to in my petroleum company?
I would like to work at the finance office.
Okay, for how much?
You are giving me the employment, so you will definitely give me the price that you want to pay me so that I can now start negotiating with you.
Okay, so our net worth is about 1 million. 1 million cedis.
1 million cedis. How much will you pay me monthly?
Monthly? 5,000.
5,000. You talked of insurance. I want to know the kind of insurance. We have a whole lot of type of insurance covers. So you have to be specific. Maybe I'll
Life
give you insurance.
In case of any how do I say it, accidents or incidents, to take care of you, your hospital bills, your car insurance as well, and I think that's about it. Yeah,
just health and then car. Okay, that will be, the car insurance will be necessary if I have a car. Meaning if I'm not having a car, the company has to give me a car in the first place. Because you insure what you have.
Of
If I
course,
don't have
we'll
a
give you
car,
a
you
car.
can't give me insurance for car.
Yes, please.
Right. So you give me insurance for my car, my house, and then if possible, if I have children, my children education, you give me insurance cover under it, my health as well. And then you give me that 5,000 cedis because I'm just starting the job. I understand that when you go there newly, the salary you get with time, possibly it will increase, right? So from the beginning, if I happen to be under all these insurance covers and give me 5,000, I think I'll be okay with it. It's a good deal.
Okay, thank you, sir. You've been given my job. Okay, hey, the job. I thank you so much for participating. Please clap for him. They've done well. Okay, so we'd like to hear from our industry partners as well, if they don't mind. We'd like to know your feedback on yesterday's interactions with the students, what you think when a student should approach your booth, what you expect them to ask you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you're all doing well.
Yes.
Are we good?
Yes, please, we are.
Okay, so thank you so much for approaching our booth this yesterday. It was great interacting with you all, and we are hoping to have you today for the mock interviews. Your performance was good. We didn't have an interview session yesterday, but it was just an interaction. So with that, I'll say it was okay, and we look forward to more interactions with you today. So hoping to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also, please, we'd like to know if there were any misconduct or anything that you found foul or bad about us students that you would want us to work upon.
Not at all. Not at all. I loved the interaction.
Okay.
And like I said, some people are very deep-minded students, and that's really got me carried away in my interaction. So I enjoyed my conversation with the people that I interacted with. And truthfully, I didn't find anything to give me any form of worry.
Thank you so much. Hey, Nay, are you listening? There's like green flag for us, so Charlie. That means we'll get employed there as much as Kenyan students, or even more than Kenyan students, right?
As much as possible, we like to give everybody an equal platform, right? So
yes, please.
We, as much as you were good students, we will give you the opportunity to actually compete with other candidates through assessments, and then we will use that to make an informed judgment.
Thank you. Fair enough. Thank you so much. Please clap for them. Okay.
Okay, so yesterday I had a chance of going through some of your CVs, and I could realize that the referees that you've indicated on your resumes, those referees are even not aware that you've used their names as their referees. So in cases where you use someone's name as your referee, reach out to the person, let them know, because as recruiters, you'll be reaching out to them to ask questions about you. That is what I would do.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Please clap for him. Okay, so we would like to start today's program. Yesterday was insightful, informative. Honestly, I learned a lot. So please do not treat today's program as just a mere event, but something to change your life with. Okay. Now, we'd like to start with God, of course, and so we'll take the opening prayer from, say, Bright Banner. Okay, then say Abraham from the Department of Petroleum Engineering. Please clap for him as it comes.
Please, we are praying. Eyes closed. Our most gracious and everlasting Father, we pray and we ask for your presence in our midst. You say anywhere two or more are gathered in your name, you are in our midst. Even though this gathering is not in your name, we pray that you come and spearhead the gathering successfully, and then let your will be done. In Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Please clap for him. All right, thank you so much. So we'd like to start with a presentation on the topic from the classroom. Okay. Please a minute. So before we start with whatever today has to give us, we'd like to take a welcome address from Mr. Isaac Odame, who is also the SPE president and past PISA president for the Department of Petroleum and Natural Gas Engineering. Please help us welcome Mr. Isaac Odame.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Professor Gilbert Akologo, I have to fill in and deliver the welcome address. It's quite unfortunate it's not with us at the moment. And then I'm well aware that it's supposed to be the Vice Chancellor who is supposed to be the chairman of the program. So right now, I'm promoted to the Vice Chancellor. That was just by the way. So I truly extend a warm welcome to you all for joining us today as well. And I'm very glad to be here. We have a list of packed sections for you as we did yesterday, and we are hoping that you engage us, and then we progress with whatever we have from you from our industry experts. And then, just as we did yesterday, if you have questions, anything, just write it somewhere. When time is due, you'll be allowed to ask your questions and you'll be answered. So thank you for coming, and then enjoy the atmosphere. So I've been prompted once again that one of our guests is supposed to join us for a quick session before we can proceed with the next one. But then since we are still holding on, I would like to share what we did yesterday with you all so we can engage ourselves before he joins us. Since I moderated a session yesterday, that's the panel discussion, I noticed so many things that I would like to highlight them. Then maybe we can engage ourselves as much as we can before we start the presentation. So yesterday we had about 10 questions, right? Yeah, 10 questions. I don't know if you didn't write it down, if you can recall, but then I had to write it down. So I took shots and it's on my phone right now, so I have to refer. So the panel discussion was on, we had different sessions. So the first session was talking of employability and future skills. So employability and future skills, the question was, it was directed precisely to the students, how we can position ourselves to suit the current job market and also tap in the intelligence of the workforce to know what the industry is demanding from us. So that was the question. And then our panelists shared so many insights, 4 things with us. And then I don't know if you would want to share with me, but then I have a few written down. Do you want to share some with us? Some of the skills you want to share with us? Yeah.
Good morning. And I was also one of the moderators for yesterday's session. And I think of all the skills you have to study or get. The most important is your soft skills and your communication skills and your behavior too. One thing I took from yesterday's session was that you don't have to play nice because you want to get a job, or you've seen someone who can recruit you into a firm, so you have to play nice in front of the person. And after the person has left, you now be your own self. I have to show everybody that Missy Wanye. Yes. And also your communication skills. Sometimes you can meet someone who you think, oh, this person can recruit me, this job firm, and all you know, you see the person, you're not even able to communicate with the person well. You don't even know where to start your conversation from. You don't even know how to properly introduce yourself. I think that that's something we should also take care of. And also as students, what other skills aside your field of study do you have to add to your skill set? Are you conversant with Excel? Are you able to control your simulation software as well? And if you are given a basic problem to solve, how then do you deal with it? Or even a basic life problem, how then do you deal with it? Are you the one who has to think far, or all your problems are supposed to be solved by AI? If a real world problem is given to you, how do you think about it? How do you give a solution to the problems? As students, you are supposed to know all of those things. And yes, it's not always that you tell yourself, oh, I'm a petroleum engineering student. So if I'm given maybe a basic question on mathematics or English, I have no idea because my field of study is just petroleum engineering. No, if you do that, I think you are just putting yourself in one corner. Yes, because the world is evolving. Technology, day in, day out, people are producing new things. So if you're not able to adapt to whatever changes the world is making, you're doing yourself a very bad thing. Yes, so let's always be ready to learn as students. And sometimes I had this problem that at first I would do something and maybe make a mistake, and someone would come to me, the person would maybe try to correct me, but in that process, the person would criticize me in a very bad way, and I would feel bad. But then later on, my mom taught me something, that you should be glad that someone is forever ready to tell you that what you did is very wrong, so you don't have to do it that way. I think with that, you remember every time that you are supposed to do something similar to it, and it actually helps me a lot. So this is what I have to share. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Marwin. Yes, Ms. Allen.
And you made a valid point around the use of technology to our advantage, right? Unfortunately, most of us are not using technology well. And you as students may be at school at Chet, but one thing I know is there's a part of the brain that if you don't use, you kind of lose it, right? You lose the functionality of that part. You can go and research on it. A lot of us are using AI in such a way that we are not using that part of our brain. So your ability, your cognitive part of the brain is not very, very active, right? I know that we use AI a lot, but AI is an enabler. It's not supposed to do the work for you. It should enable you do the work well. Some of us use AI and we don't even bother to read the AI suggestion. When you go to AI, there's a clause there that says that we cannot guarantee that everything in there is 100% accurate, right? I will encourage you, let AI be an enabler to help you think, and don't let technology do all the work for you. I strongly believe that's why a lot of people finish school and basic life problems they cannot solve, because they have 80% of the time depended on AI to do things for them. It's so bad that we have candidates who come to our assessment center to write aptitude tests, and they are referring to AI to give them answers, right? It's please, my encouragement to you, let AI be an enabler and not to take your ability to reason away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abner. And we move on to the next part. But then before, I think if you missed yesterday's session, I'm sure we've covered what we discussed yesterday, because tapping from what our two speakers have mentioned, they've covered everything. Talking of the inherent soft skills, the digital skills you need to learn, everything that you are needed to have before you can be employed in this current job market. So the next session was the undesirable behavior of we, the employees, when we get there. And then maybe I would like to share mine first before I hand over to any other person who wants to add up. So our panelists mentioned punctuality, that we need to be always punctual. And the next was general conduct at workplace. When you get there, how willing you are to work, how you avail yourself to people, how you handle yourself around. Maybe you feel too bossy. You're trying to highlight the undesirable parts of what we do over there. So let's take note of that. And the next was our readiness to learn. We are there for teamwork. I think one of our panelists highlighted that over here it's a solo learn that you need to learn and pass your own exam. But then over there, it's a collective something, it's a teamwork. So you are now transitioning from here to there. But then you must be able to learn from others and then work together with them. So if any of our panelists have something to add up, maybe we can, or I can go on to, okay.
Hello, good morning. I think one of the things that I would like to add to that I have observed with having worked with early career, let me say students like yourself or about to be graduates like yourself, is the ability to get to a place and then make an impact, right? So you realize that a lot of people will come and do service or internship, and for them it's just, I'm doing the work that I'm assigned to. But I think in as much as you're doing the work that you are assigned to, also when you're given a task, always think about how can I improve it? Because really, it's not like you are coming in and you're there because we cannot do the work ourselves. It's an opportunity for you to learn, but it's also an opportunity for you to improve what you came to meet. And that is when we begin to think, okay, should we give this person an opportunity beyond internship or an opportunity beyond national service, right? Then we begin to have conversations about, oh, do we give this person a contract after national service? And then after that, we begin to have a conversation about, do we employ this person full time? So whenever you are given an opportunity, whether it's internship or national service, and you get there, and you're given, your task or your duties, look at it in a way where you are thinking, how can I improve this process? Right now, the process is manual, but how can we automate it? How can we make it faster, make it better, right? And that is one of the ways that you stand out. So I will sum it up by saying, always have a process improvement mindset. It's very, 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 very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insights. Thank you once again. Any other person? Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. That was on how to tune ourselves in this sustainable development era to make societal impact. So as students, I think this was one of the longest answering questions. Like, they answered the question for so long. So they started explaining what sustainability was, and then how we should adjust what we are learning from here to go out there to make societal impact. And then a summary of it. he made some examples of what we needed to do. So we have so many problems currently. And then I think of least one of the relatable ones is the flooding. Now we see on the news, some places are getting flooded. And then for us to, position ourselves out there to make impact, we need to aim at, providing a solution that aims at, that would last for a long time, providing a long-lasting solution so you can make an impact. So provided a situation that you go and make an attempt that, oh, I have done this research, I can resolve this flooding issue, you go and make a promise, investors come and then invest in you, you go and disappoint them at the end. This year, we don't see the flooding again. By next year, every place gets flooded. You've disappointed them. So there were so many other problems that they mentioned. I think one also was the water pollution, these harmful substances that has got to do to pollute the environment. And then they also mentioned that we need to learn from mistakes. We need to learn from mistakes. Whatever people did already, that at a point they fell short, we need to reflect on that. We should read more research papers, tap in from so many sources, and then check where mistakes were made, and then continue from there. As innovation normally isn't something new, but then things that people have started already, and then we are here to improve them. So we should tackle those things and then learn much. So when we go out there, we become useful to the society. And then one last habit was continuous learning. Continuous learning, that would help us make a sustainable impact. We need to learn. So learning isn't easy. As you all know, learning isn't easy. It's never easy. But then for us to have that sustainable development that we always aim at. So I think I can't recall where it started from, but in almost every conference I have attended, you would hear something about sustainable development aside to the team or their discussions they're going to have over there. So that means it's very, very important. And then if we are not aiming at anything, then we shouldn't even be here in the first place. So we should try and position ourselves to suit this job demand. We need to make ourselves useful. So any person to make addition. So we'll move on to the next one. The next session was innovation and entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship and innovation, how to improve our businesses, how to position ourselves to be entrepreneurs, whether you own the business or you are in the business under someone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember one thing Miss Abner said that that was the first time I heard someone explaining entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship to me. Miss Victoria, yes. And if we all remember, for entrepreneurship, we know about it, but then intrapreneurship is when you are being employed, but then you take the firm as yours. So you treat it, your job, how your behavior towards the work, you treat it as how if the job was supposed to be yours, how you would treat it, how you would manage it. And that's one thing I love. You know, sometimes when you are being employed, you feel like, especially the government firms, we feel, okay, this is not my company, so I can treat it anyhow and just leave. At the end of the day, what I'm waiting for is my salary. Yes, but then sometimes you don't even know. Just come and you're like, okay, let me treat this workplace well. Let me keep it well. For all you know, that who employed you would be studying your behavior there. And as Mr. Daniel said yesterday, you don't know when an appointment will be at the corner. Maybe they want an appointment, but then they are looking at your individual behaviors. And there you are thinking that the job place the company is not yours, so you treat it anyhow. And by the time you realize someone with a good behavior has taken up the position you were supposed to take. And you'll not be blaming people that they are playing favorites there. But then sometimes it's not like that. You know, someone can just come in and naturally the person is nice, so the person actually has an upper hand over you, that you think that, okay, the company is not mine, so I'll just treat it anyhow, and at the end of the day, I'm leaving, I'll just take my salary. So please, behavior at workplace too is also important. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your insights, Ms. Howard. So I'll discuss the last subhead and then move on to the next thing. So the last subheading was on leadership and growth. On leadership and growth, that we need to inculcate these leadership skills and then this growth mindset for us to thrive in this current industry. And from the reflections, I remember one of the HRs from Newmont mentioned that even as where they find themselves now, people are now looking into studying law for them to be able to manage how they deal with people when it comes to labor law. So no matter where we find ourselves, we need to have this growth mindset that we don't need to, always stay comfortable wherever you find ourselves. And then we go on with our daily lives. But then when we have this growth mindset, and then we have the desire to lead, to make things better, to make a positive impact, that is when we can thrive in the industry. So this also brought about some of the points that we mentioned earlier about the continuous learning, the conducts among others, and then following trends. So I recall one person said, the feed we get from our phone should be about trends. So we always get updated from what's happening out there. We don't get outdated. And then courses, diversified courses, whether it's within your field or it's from someone else. So we have to always stay active and then learn always. Thank you very much.
Yes, so, and this question has been on my mind, and it's like every time I'm looking for new answers from people who are way ahead of me. So today that's an opportunity to have recruiters from Newmont. I would ask this question. So my question is, are leaders born or made? On leadership, are leaders born or made? Yeah.
I'll go for, I'll tilt towards made, right? But there's an element of your personality. And as part of my work, we do something called your personality profile. There are some people who have red energy. These are results-oriented people. These are energetic people. There are some people who have green energy. They usually, you see them as very slow, very unassuming. So our personality types differ. And that's what God gives us, right? But knowing your personality type is important, because then you don't just stay within. And all personality types have advantages and disadvantages. Awareness is very important. Being aware that I am a red energy. I'm sure everybody will know by now that I am a red energy. And for red energy people, sometimes we have a lot of energy, right? And if we're not careful, we put other people down because of the energy that we have. But if you are aware of that, you give other people room to excel. And that is what makes me now tilt to made, right? With coaching, with mentorship, you can overcome some of the challenges and, be a proper leader. As a leader, you'll be encountering all sorts of personality. The expectation is you have the capability to manage all the personality types that you come across, right? But you as a leader have a personality type. So being aware of your personality type, being aware of other personality types, and how to kind of manage those personality types is important. And like I said, a lot of experiences shape your leadership as you grow. And for people like you who have technical mindset, usually you are very technical in your thinking and you ignore the leadership side of things, right? And that is something that I want all of us to be aware of. Daniel spoke about mentorship yesterday, and I want to reiterate that mentorship is very, very important, because in our Kan dialect, we say that the one who is drawing the line does not see what's happening behind him or her, whether it's crooked or straight. So with mentorship, you get to see some of these defaults and you work on them. So your personality type is important, but whatever it is, it can be made to be better. And that's why I will say leaders are made. And you can be made if you subject yourself to training, listening to advice, mentorship, and then learning from your experience. Like I said, mistakes are not bad at all. I remember in my previous company, one of our values was fail fast and learn. We encourage people to experiment, make mistakes, because we believe that experiment is the best teacher. When you fail, you learn a lot. There's an issue where you fail and you just brush over it and move on. That's another character that we will discuss. But if you fail and you learn from it, you get a lot of experience, and gradually you will get there. And like we say, Rome is never built in a day. It's a process. It takes time, but it's really availing yourself. It's okay if it takes you longer than myself. We're all very different. It might take you how many years to really get there or build that capability. It might take somebody X number of years. It's fine. So far as we see growth, that's important.
Thank you very much. I want to hear from everybody. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. To just add on to what Abena said, I also think it's a bit of the two. It can be a situation whereby you can have a leader who is born. But for me, let me use this analogy, right? So you can have an athlete or any regular person that is born with the skill of being good at playing football, okay? But you may still have to go ahead and train. You'd have to work hard. You'd have to wake up early in the morning, exercise. You may have to do a couple of tournaments, go for some sort of matches with other people, build yourself before you can become the ideal athlete, right? So that same analogy applies. We can have people that are born with that natural charisma. They're able to lead naturally. They have that enthusiasm to take up the challenge. Or maybe someone can be born with several siblings. So that natural instinct is in them to lead. But then it doesn't just end there, right? You have to go beyond that. You have to train yourself. And as Abena said, through your skills, through your development, through your experiences, through the courses you do, the people you interact with, all those things form a part and shape who you become as a leader. And as a leader, you have to learn as well. You have to learn. You always have to build yourself. And you always have to grow, just as Abena said. So it's the same thing I'm saying. So you can't be born with that instinct, but you may also have to train and build yourself intentionally to become the ideal leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think all has been said. I also agree with my colleague here that it can be a blend of the two. So people have natural traits and natural leadership traits. As she said, maybe due to their position in the house as firstborns, so they are able to lead when they are in a group. I'm sure in school you have group work, and then you have people who just want to lead. So that's their inborn traits. And you have people who have to go through certain processes to build that leadership skills out of them. So it's a blend of both. Yeah, so that's what I will also add to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. What I'll just add on is that even in the leadership, there are different styles of leadership. So once you are able to do all that has been mentioned, just try and discover for yourself which type of leadership trait or leadership style works best for you. And then as you go along, you move with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, and from the conversation, you know, when you are starting something from the basis, you receive a lot of criticisms, and sometimes you just feel like, why don't I just stop it? So I want to ask, how as leaders, how do we welcome critiques? How do you take it? Do you have to give up when you're being criticized, or you just have to move on with whatever you're doing? And I think you start with us, right?
For your question, I have a question for your question, because it's not too clear. Like feedback in terms of what, like? Yeah. Okay. So we like to use the word feedback so that it's not so negative, because feedback is supposed to be positive. It's supposed to be good for you, right? When you use criticizing, then it's like it's a negative thing, right? Yeah. So as a leader, I think it boils down to what everybody has said. You should know yourself, obviously, because then if you know yourself, you have the ability to also do a bit of self-reflection. Then when you get the feedback with the ability to self-reflect, it's like, okay, then what this person is saying is possibly true. Like, I need to take a look at this, right? So, yeah, like, obviously, if you want to grow, you should you should have the ability to listen and be able to absorb it, reflect, and see that, okay, this is an area that I need to work on. So growth comes with both learning, like I think your president had mentioned, and also the ability to unlearn. And it's through feedback that you know, okay, what do I need to work on? What are the traits that I need to build? What is it that I'm currently doing that I need to not do? So it's important. Just know that the ability to be able to receive feedback is important. But I also think that you need to give yourself grace, because, for instance, like, it's something that you get better at it with time. It's difficult if somebody is giving you feedback. Obviously, as human, it would hurt you sometimes. Your emotions would be hurt. So you need to give yourself grace. But I think with time, as we grow, even me, I would use myself as an example. Even me, like, it's a journey. I'm still learning. Sometimes you get feedback. It's hard to take in. So, you give yourself grace. Your feelings would be hurt, but the ability to self-reflect and think about it at the end of the day and say, okay, maybe what this person said is true about me. Let me work on it. I think that's where then it becomes a game changer for you. I hope that makes sense. I said a lot.
Thank you.
The human nature is defensive, right? That's the natural human nature. And so giving feedback itself is a skill that we all have to learn. Right? Remember that what you're coming to tell me, naturally, my system will build defense. So the way you also say it matters. And so when you are giving feedback, be mindful of the how. It's very, very important. I'll just use the Equiapim saying, Equiapim person will tell you, say, me pachol say, we are beer, versus the normal, we are boa, right? There's a difference. And I'm just using that because that resonates with us more. It's the same way, but one says it with some respect, the other says it just like that, right? So you see, because the mepacho came, you are laughing, but you are supposed to get angry. Right, so I'm just saying that giving feedback itself is a skill that we all need to learn, because the natural human self builds defense against anything. You're calling it criticism, right? You build defense. So when you give it in a way that is appropriate, you're still sending the same message, but in a way that, you are actually respecting the other individual and making sure that the person is not feeling too bad. Because if you're not careful, feedback can kill your confidence one time, and it will take you a long time to rebuild your confidence. And that's not the essence, that's not the aim of feedback. So make sure that in giving feedback, you are not destroying, but you are building.
So I would add something little. I think a lot has been said, which is very good. As a leader, another way to accept or welcome criticisms is to have that acceptance mindset, that once you are a leader, you will be criticized, you will be judged, right? People would have so much to say about you, so many opinions. You need to have that acceptance mindset and have that willingness to accept feedback in a positive way and try to see the positivity in what people say about your leadership. So that's one thing that would help you, not to take things too personal, because people will have different mindsets and comments about you. So always try to find the positive things in what people say. So that's just a little add. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, so we've shared a lot on leadership. We've shared a lot on leadership, and actually we would be having a little presentation on a very important topic, but then our speaker hasn't joined us yet. So we'd have to do something. Yes, just 5 minutes, he'll be here. Yes. So before that, let's do something very simple. And when our leader, the speaker joins, okay. So we all know that we would have a mock interview today, but before that, we'll do a little bit of briefing so that so that you know what you are supposed to know before you get to the interview, and what you expect to. So we'll have Miss Victoria to talk to us on that. Kindly let's welcome her.
Thank you. So we'll play a quick game, okay, just to ease up before the actual time. So I'm going to pick on someone. Please don't be offended, okay? Or just a volunteer who give us step up to do a mock interview, a quick one. A quick one. Any volunteers? You, I see you have confidence. You floor it. Not to say whoever will come doesn't have confidence. Yes, please come. Please clap for her. come and stand with me, please, very quickly before the speaker comes. And then, Edwina, please do us the honors. You are the interviewer. So as they are doing it, you are going to observe, right? And then after you tell us your observations.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
All right, welcome once again to this interview. I would like you to give me a brief introduction about yourself and just highlight more on some of your skills and any achievements you have.
Thank you so much. My name is Seko Joycelyn Wekwe. I'm a petroleum engineering student at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. I am in a level 200 currently. Okay, some of the training experience I had is after SHS, I've been a teacher before, and I learned how to do teamwork and how to cooperate with others, and also how to learn about other people, their mindset, and how to deal with problem solving. I've also been a debating club secretary, which I learned how to organize notes and points being given during an occasion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And what's that one thing you are proud of about yourself that you can boast of to me?
Oh, I'm very proud of myself because I know I can be able to work with people of different caliber due to the different experience I had based on the teaching and dealing with students as a.
And where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 3 years?
In the next 2 to 3 years, I think by then I should be almost graduating. And I'm praying and also seeing myself that as I'm graduating and go for internships, I should be able to work with the companies I am there with, that they can be able to recommend me as a partner or to work with them after my graduation.
All right. One last question. Oh, that's good. Okay. Have you encountered any problem, maybe within school, outside school, or any work you've done? And what was that problem and how did you go about resolving it?
Actually, the problem I actually encountered was miscommunication. Maybe someone will hear something from somewhere and the person didn't hear it well, or the person doesn't understand, and the person approach you in a different way. Yeah, which if you don't listen or if you don't calm down or being patient, it might actually go against you. Just yesterday, I had one, but I just calmed the person down in a way that we don't have any argument or anything. And I told him I'll come back.
Thank you. That's very good. Let's give it up for her.
Thank you, Edwina. Thank you very much. Yeah, so, who is it? Yeah? So we have a speaker here, so let's be very quick about it. Number one, what was the... Okay. How did you find her presentation of the responses? Very quickly, because the speaker is in. Anyone, very quickly. What stood out for you with her demeanor? Anyone, quickly. Or should I come to you? Okay. You. What did you like?
She is confident. She is confident.
Confidence, is that true? Okay, 2 more.
I think she wasn't tensed.
She wasn't tensed. Absolutely. Nice one. Last one. With the strengths.
Her responses were brief and precise.
Clap for all of them. Is there anything, just 2, is there anything she could have done better?
And then she also managed to minimize fillers. Like, she didn't put that.
Brilliant, brilliant. Clap for him. Is there anything she could have done better? Just 2, and then we can leave it like that. Yes.
So I think her achievement, she could have done better with it because what she mentioned actually didn't actually add up. So maybe she could have done better with her achievement.
Spot on. Thank you very much. Clap for him. And the last one, anything she could have done better? Yes.
facial contact. You're supposed to be looking at the
Give
interview.
him a round of applause. So, in summary, this is how it's going to be. These are some of the things we are looking out for. You've given us your CV. We have an idea of who you are, what you've done. Be able to speak to the CV. Be able to engage with whoever you're talking to and be confident. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Victoria. I mean, this is wonderful. At least you know what you would have to do when you get to the mock interview. It's not that where that you're going to fumble over words and you don't even know what to say. Yeah, I mean, this is so great. And yes, so our speaker is in. Welcome again, sir. Yes, and we'll start the program now. So to do that, the honors of welcoming our guests, we'll call Miss Blessing to introduce our speaker for today. Give her a round of applause, please. Please remember, clapping is a therapy, so when you are supposed to clap, clap well. Thank you.
Good morning to you all once again. Next on the list, we have a presentation on the topic From Classroom to Boardroom, Transitioning into the Industry. And we warmly invite Mr. Edmond Louis Jima, the Superintendent Mine Planning at Newmont, and Mrs. Abena Asadia, Specialist Talent and Leadership Development at Newmont. Please, a round of applause as they come to...
Do better than this. Clapping is a therapy, remember? Yes. One last time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. This gathering takes me back memory lane many years ago. And I think the topic is extremely very suitable for an occasion like this. So, but yeah, the honorable thing to do is first to apologize. I'm sorry for coming in late. I can give 1,001 reasons why I had to come around this time, but I think it's an opportune time to speak to you about the topic. So from, maybe let me just rephrase it, from school to the boardroom. I had a lot of uncertainties about 20 years ago when I was leaving university. Around that time, I am in an industry where the biggest driving factor is what we call the price of gold or the price of the metal, depending on where you find yourself working in the mining industry. I found myself predominantly in Ghana. We mine gold. The other commodities anyway, but it's predominantly gold. So for those of you who are extremely very current, you know that the price of the metal is like around, 4,500 now. Around the time when we actually were transitioning from school to the world of work, which was national service, it was like around, $250. So that's like a huge, difference, right? And usually around a time of that sort, companies, there's something we call descaling. They descale, they shrink. So just to save on cost and still keep on being in business. So a lot of the mining companies were just descaling. They were just trying to be small as much as possible. Usually when it happens that way, they don't necessarily pick people. So even those who usually had, permanent appointment were being let go, So those of us who were trying to get into it, it was extremely very tough. That was where companies would, National Service Secretariat would post like, say, 15 people to a company, and the company will decide to do interviews. So what you guys are being exposed to is like the world of work now, right? For some of the places that some of us went to, National Service legitimately posted us to those places. We conducted the interviews, and for someone like me, I was not successful anyway. You see me, talking with all confidence and ability to pick and choose my words to tell you my story, because it's been a lot of work over the period of 20 years, right? I wasn't necessarily like this. So what we are doing here, it's really, a good time for you to pick, how you want your career to really proceed beyond here. Yeah, backstory, long story short, we had to go through the process of, okay, you didn't even necessarily get a place. How do you kind of get ahead, right? Everywhere, you go present yourself, they would ask specific questions. What can you bring to the table? I mean, National Service, you had no work experience, right? So if an HR manager like Abena here asks you what you bring to the table, what exactly do you bring to the table? It's just, some of the skill set qualitative that you would have developed in school that you bring to the table, right? Your ability to communicate like what I'm doing right now, right? Your ability to convince them that, yes, of course, what the guy who has been in the company for like 4 years does with Excel, you've got the ability to do it, maybe better than the guy, but you need to demonstrate it. That's marketing, right? So one thing that you need to have as a skill set to enter the world of work is your ability to market yourself. You should be able to. I know you know next to nothing, obviously. Maybe probably you know a bit of Excel, PowerPoint, a bit of Word, from some of the projects that you guys have been doing, but you should be able to bloat it up. Okay, your ability to tell your story of what you could do, with some of the basic skill set in Excel, PowerPoint, Word, your ability to, demonstrate that you could listen and speak in a way that comes across as a very good communication is key. Okay, so I can tell you for a fact that when I had the opportunity to meet my first employer, she asked me a lot of questions. And I left school as the president for student union. So we called them MESA back in the days. That was Association for Mining and Mineral Engineering Students back in UMAT. I was the president. So for over a 1 year period, I had built a bit of the ability to convince people what I'd got, right? So that was what I put on the table. I was asked several questions, and I, whether she believed me or not, I put them on the table that I had got what it took to really get a job done. So I was actually employed, and that was, what my first job entailed. I started as an explosive engineer, but just like I said, things like Excel, for all of you, and I know predominantly you all know what Excel is, tends to make a big difference when you actually start work, because the people that you'll be reporting to all build reports. Excel is extremely very basic. You think it's extremely very basic, but if you come in as a national service person and you're working for someone like Abena and she has a lot of decisions to make and she's counting on you to get a certain report done at a certain time in the day, and you've got the ability to get it done before she even requests of it, that puts you in her good books. That's how you sell yourself. So no one told me, but then again, because I was around that time extremely very good in Excel, when we got in, we found that there were needs. The company had needs. You have like about 10 bosses you're reporting to, and these are bosses that were extremely very busy and they had no in quotes, time to actually be looking at what mattered, right? In terms of having a report ready by Monday morning to present to the next boss. Those were the opportunities some of us found to actually, kind of rock ourselves within the company. Okay, so The first skill set I would touch on is communication, okay? You have to absolutely learn to put your point across. Okay, you should be able to, whatever exists in your mind doesn't necessarily exist in the next person's mind. So it's a thing of psychology. How do you want to create visuals in communicating in a way that they could actually picture what you are trying to put across? It takes a bit of practice, please. It takes a bit of practice. You need to, demonstrably. If you have to get up every morning and make it a routine to stand before the mirror and communicate, it's key. I'm a mining engineer, okay? And usually you find out that they say engineers are not good with communication, okay? That has been the tag, especially from those who did, literature and, the social sciences. They will say engineers don't know how to talk. I know how to talk, okay? I can sell you something I don't even have. You would put your hand in your pocket and give me money without thinking about it. Okay, so, but I'm an engineer, all right? So develop your ability to speak. Now than ever, access to the tools to develop your communication skills exist. If you go on YouTube, somebody can give you a tutorial for like 10 hours on the right approach to communicate. Okay, so that's first, all right? That is first. You need to be able to communicate so well. And the next one is, I would hone on. I'm just going to talk about 3 things and I'll give it to Abina. Yeah, the next one you need to hold on, and I would get back to it, as those soft skills you've been taught. Look, some of you here probably are civil engineering students. Some of you, whatever, GIS, renewable energy, whatever you're doing. Usually when it comes into the world of work, those skills you brought would necessarily they wouldn't be too relevant, okay? Because the industry, and that's the truth, okay? Let me use Newmont as an example. The industry, like Newmont, seems to be one step. I'm not going to bloat it and say 10 steps ahead of academia. I mean, in terms of what actually sells on the ground, a company like Newmont is always like one step ahead of academia, okay? So usually you bring on board a certain skill set in civil engineering. When you come in, you have to retool, you have to relearn, you have to unlearn, okay? So that takes a bit of time to kind of get these things through. That's why I was particular about the basic skill set, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, okay? Be good with them. These exist on YouTube, okay? You have them, I know you have them on your laptops. Don't be a basic user of these tools. Be proficient, okay? Be proficient. There are categories of proficiencies, okay? It can be just you going into type 1 + 1 and using it as a calculator, and there are those who can gut Excel up. If I say gut, you can go figure it out. Those who can use Excel as a programming language. If you can get to that stage, I'm telling you, if you work with Abena for 1 month, she would recommend you. So these are just free tips I'm giving you, okay? And the last one I'll talk about is networking, okay? Your ability to, don't be afraid, don't be shy. We've all been here before, we've been there before. You should have the confidence to approach industry people. It could be on LinkedIn. I've had the opportunity to remotely mentor a lot of your folks. They get on LinkedIn, they send you very cold mails, asking like 1,001 questions. And, sometimes you're extremely very busy. You wouldn't necessarily but yeah, they still exist in your mails. One day you go through them and it's like, okay, let me think about these questions. And they give a response and one thing leads to the other. And the next thing you know, you are actually mentoring them. And some, and I would say they've ended up in the industry. I can say for those that I've engaged with, about 90% of them actually ended up in the industry. Some even ended up in Newmont. Because at the end of the day, you feel a certain sense of obligation to direct them on the right path. Okay, yeah, so 3 things I've mentioned, please. When you're asking your questions, I would appreciate that. Maybe we deal with these, and beyond that, if you have any other questions, you ask. Thank you.
And I will stay within, the 3 areas that he's spoken about. When he was talking, he said something, and I want you to really listen carefully. He said his first interview, he didn't quite make it. Correct. It is not mandatory that the very first interview you go to, you get the job. Understand that it is part of the process. When you leave school, things are not as rosy as you will think. So you might fail 1 or 2 interviews. My encouragement to you, let that not put you down. It's part of the process, right? And he spoke about speaking confidently. Now, fortunately for us, like he said, because of technology, you don't have to be a MESA president to speak well. Absolutely, when I was in school, I am so sure I would have been part of the people sitting on the last row. I wouldn't be in front for anything, right? But there are people who want to be in front. There are people who will volunteer to speak up. For instance, my lady decided she volunteered to take up the mock interview. I'm so sure I wouldn't have done that. No, I wouldn't do it. But you don't have to do it. You have resources to help you communicate well. Previously in our time, there were not too many of those resources. So people like him who took up positions, even SRC president and stuff, they are the politicians now. They speak very, very well. And they're able to convince you to vote for them. You finish voting and you realize that, what have I just done? Right? So our time, those were the opportunities to build your confidence. Now you don't have to. There are several opportunities to build your confidence. But when these opportunities present themselves within the academia, take them. Most of us don't have the personality to stand up and, challenge and no. But you have to build it because you would need it at some point. Some of us weren't lucky to hear some of these things. I'm sure we would have changed some aspects of ourselves early enough for our own benefit. For level 400s, your time is done. If you're level 200, for instance, and in future an opportunity comes for you to be an SRC president or your department president, whatever opportunity there is, take it. You will need them. And when you, especially for you, if you do internship, don't go there for going sake. Most of us, because it is a requirement of the institution, we go there to take a box. But when you get to the interview stage, you will rely on your internships and the early opportunities you've had to answer some of the questions because you don't have the experience. So that will be your best bet, right? And then when you get in, like he said, everything you're learning here, I consider them as the foundation. It gives you a foundational knowledge. But when you get onto the field, like he's saying, experience makes you ahead of the foundation. When you experience, you will make mistakes. You try and apply all the principles and the theories that you've learned from here. You will make mistakes and you will now understand the theories better. That is why you will wait until you are in level 400 before you take a project. Because then they want you to ground the theoretical aspect and now you try to practicalize it. And that's the same thing that happens when you get there. So there are foundational levels, right? And there are also as you grow. And I think we spoke about that. When you enter as a freshman, there's a lot you learn. Communication is important. We've talked about mentorship, learning from people who have experience, and don't be shy to share yours. Most of us sit here, we don't understand things that are being communicated, and we are shy to ask questions. So we go with our ignorance, and that is something that I want to discourage you from. Moving from school to the boardroom or to the workplace, you need to ask questions, be inquisitive, and sometimes be vulnerable. It's okay that you don't know. Some of us are shy to say we don't know. But how will you learn? How will we appreciate your growth? You yourself, how will you appreciate your growth? So it's about, facing the situation as is. And for us students, fake life is something that you need to do away with. You're who you are. You're where you are. This is what I have, right? If you appreciate where you are, then you will understand the gap between where you are and where you want to go to. and then you close that gap. So just to add to my colleagues' words, opportunities exist for everyone. You might not have it green at the first go. Don't let that discourage you. What is not meant for you is not meant for you. The world in which we are, there are stuff like that. There are principles. What's not meant for you is not meant for you. But when you get to what is meant for you, you need to also put in that effort. And the starting point and the middle, the expectation from you joining as a national service person, what I expect from you is not the same as what I expect from somebody who has been 5 years into the organization. My expectation is you would have learned. Okay? And let me state that a lot of institutions are now performance driven. Because of cost of running business, like he said, in our field is heavily dependent on the price of the metal. If, for instance, $250 per ton of gold now is $4,000 per ounce, right? Per ounce. And now it's $4,500 per ounce. See the difference? So at the time when it was 250, they can't afford to pay everybody, a lot of people. So they let people go. Keep that at the back of your mind, that organizations change. In my organization, my industry, the mining industry, I've seen a lot of changes. I joined Newmont not very long ago, but within a year or two, I've seen so many changes. The world has become so volatile that an organization that does not change would die. You need to respond to the changes that are happening to stay afloat. So keep it at the back of your mind that at some point in your career, change will impact you or not. And I'm an HR person. I've seen a lot of people being impacted by change. I've been in discussions where people are being discussed, right? And I have also been impacted by change. So change will impact you, but it depends on what you make of that impact. It's all attitude now, how you take it and how you run with it. Some people get impacted by change and they have mental problem. It's a choice. You decide to let it impact you negatively or positively. A lot of organizations are performance driven. I mentioned change because I want to link it to performance, right? You have to bring value to the table. It is not a matter of just getting hired and doing your normal job and getting paid. We've moved past that. Previously, you show up, you get paid end of month, end of story. We've moved past that. Institutions are looking for people who bring value to the table. You are measured, your performance is measured at the end of the year. And organizations decide whether we should continue keeping you or not. That's where we have gone to. And so you will see that people's appointments are terminated just by virtue of the fact that we don't think the value you bring is worth it, or we need that value. We've gone past your value. So you need to put value on yourself. And always, like he said, think ahead. Think ahead. Otherwise, you will be obsolete. And you will be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's now time for question and answers. So if you have any question, you just put up your hand and we give you the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Zedo, the Petroleum Engineering Student, level 200. From your discussion, you said for your first interview you had after school, you didn't quite make it. So you went to subsequent interviews and you did make it. So my question is, what did you learn from the first thing and what do you think went wrong? Why you didn't get the interview and how did you work on it to excel in your next interviews? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Yeah, so let me just create the picture, for you. So the first interview, and I mentioned the company's name, was Anglo Gold Ashanti. If you go to Takwa, it's in Takwa. So that's a surface open pit mine. We went there, we were about 13. We were interviewed mining engineers. The positions were just 2, for national service. We went through the cycle. It got to my turn. I think the question that I was asked was on my project work. I had done a project work on something we call mineral project evaluation. It's just when you have, say, okay, you discover an ore body in a place, how do you run it through, picking it from the ground and getting the metals out and selling it out. So the whole profile, the engineering, the economics. The person who asked me those questions was obviously an expert, so he took me through, a high level sort of, it was not merciful. It was not merciful. I'm choosing my words carefully. It was not necessarily merciful. I had just done a project, work. It wasn't necessarily like, whole theory on project management. Yeah. So he took me through it, asked me, several questions on it. I think my weakness. My weakness then was my ability to articulate the cogent, points related to my project work, okay? Because he was specific about the whole profile of mineral project evaluation, right? He asked specific questions, how do you start? How do you, for example, I build a project timeline for when you want to start and when you want to end, okay? Like, typically, this one is rooted in project management. I wasn't necessarily an expert, but I had learned a bit about project management through that course, right? I wasn't able to articulate that so well, okay? So I was like all over the place, saying all sort of things. And I could visibly see on his face that he wasn't necessarily convinced. So he kept on asking specific questions related to those same questions he had asked me, right? So that's like some of the pointers. When you give a response and people keep on coming back to the same thing, it gives you a sense that whatever you communicated was not adequate enough, right? Yeah, so I learned from that. Not right away, okay? It took me some months to, smoothen out some of these weaknesses. But the next interview I went to, I think I took on a bit of an aggressive cap. Yeah, because I told myself that I wasn't necessarily going back or going to teach in the classroom, because back then, if you were not successful in being placed in a company, you go back to the secretariat, they will post you obviously to the classroom. And I was a mining engineer. I didn't think I could, the skill set, I couldn't get enough to be extremely competitive. After 1 year, companies are making decisions on your peers. And you may not be lucky because your peers took about 1 year to gather some skills, and you have been teaching in the classroom, right? So that was my thinking. So in Takwa, there are several mining companies and mining service providers. I decided that I would go start from the end. So if you go to Takwa, there is Bogoso, there is Prestia. The companies are just along all the road, from Prestia to Bogoso, Takwa. You have all the mining companies dotted along that. I'll use the word strike, right? So I went first company. They didn't even allow me to enter. The security person was there. The second company told me that we don't pick national service people. It was the third company that I went there. Then I met the HR manager, and she also told me the same thing, that they were not in the business of picking national service people. They usually pick mining engineers straight from school. So not straight from school, like they pick mining engineers. So they are okay with picking 1 year experience, 1 year experience mining engineer, or 2 years, that early stage mining engineering. But she started asking me questions. Where are you from? What do you bring from school? Blah, blah, blah. It was just a casual conversation, but that was like more of an area that I was good at, having casual conversations, right? Not knowing she was kind of like, taking notes of all that. So after the casual conversation, where are you from? Where have you lived before? I realized that at a point she noticed that there were some commonalities around, like between myself and, herself, places we had worked before, regions we had taught before, schools we all knew, that kind of thing. So it was purely very casual. We had that casual conversation, and after that, it was Friday. She told me that Monday I would come and start work. That was it. That's how I got my first job, okay? But the lesson I learned was my inability to articulate what mattered, okay? So for the next when I got a job, I promised myself that by the time I was done with the national service, I would have had the job. I would have been confirmed. And true to it, because I worked on my weakness, I think it was like 7 months into the service, I was actually given an offer. All right. Yeah, thank you.
I will link it from an HR angle, okay? What I have seen and the difference between school and work is here you can baba, right, and pass. In the workplace, baba die is not equivalent to passing. That's the difference. Even me, in school, projects, sometimes you have groups who perform projects. And you guys know, some people are very lazy. So you have a group of 4 people, and you see 2 people actively doing the project. They roll up their sleeve and they are heavily involved in the project. Other 2 will take advantage of the seriousness of the 2 and just tag along, right? When there's an interview, likelihood is the 2 who are serious will pass. Because when you roll your sleeve, as you go through the project, you'll be making mistakes, and that's how you will learn. But you will come and meet the already baked food without going through the mistakes that the other 2 went through, right? All I'm saying is you need to roll up your sleeve and get involved. That's how you are able to, because when you come and meet me, and sorry for you if I have experience in what you have done, I'll go into the details, and the only people who will get it right are people who have rolled up their sleeves and they have gotten involved in the activity. That I'm drawing the difference between babadie, right, chewing and pouring, versus experiencing and bringing it out. Even me, as an HR person, I have gone to interviews and I haven't been successful. What I've done in the past is anytime I go through any interview, or if I sit in an interview, interviewing another candidate, and questions are asked, there are questions that even me, I assess myself to say that if I were in the hot seat, would I be able to answer this question that this gentleman has been asked? Any interview I'm exposed to, when I go back, I take my laptop and I have a file named interview questions. I go back there and put all questions, whether I was able to answer them well or not. Because when you sit and you reflect on the questions, even the ones you are confident about, you realize that there was a valid point I missed. And that's the point he's making, his ability to articulate. But when you go back and start putting these things down and going through them, your next interview, you ace it. So, guys, prepare yourselves. It's about preparation. And yesterday, Daniel talked about the fact that you need to prepare yourself. So me, once a month, I go through that my interview file. Is a long file because I have over 19 years experience. And if I've been doing this over the period, you can imagine the questions I've gathered. And every month I go through it and then I run through them. Okay, this one, with my new experience, this particular question, this is something, or the new achievement I've made here and here, I will add it here. I read through. So tomorrow, if I get called for an interview, I'm sure that even if I don't get the job, I'll leave an impression for them to call me back another time when an opportunity presents itself. So that's my guidance to you. When you fail, don't beat yourself. And I've always said, when you fail and you don't learn from your failure, then your matter is a different story. Always come back like him. What questions was I asked? My project work. Why didn't I say this? Why was I not able to say it? Likelihood is the questions are not a lot, so a new interviewer will ask you the same question. That's the likelihood. So if you go and meet a second person asking a question you've been asked before and you can't answer this time, who will you blame? Yourself, right? So that's the strategy I have adopted. And I've also told you the difference between school and work.
Thank you very much for your presentation. From your presentation, Ms. Abena, you made mention of now there are institutions that are performance driven. So I want to ask this question. How is digital transformation such as AI, machine learning, and automation changing the skills expected of young engineers like some of us just coming from school?
Okay, I will let, he is in the core production, so I'll let him answer. But like I said to you, AI, digital resources are supposed to be enablers. Previously, you go and meet engineers, and even me, when I was practicing engineering, we have our white paper, then we are drawing, physically drawing, trying to match your bearing and how the bearing is failing, all those things. Now you don't do those manual things anymore because there's digitalization and it helps you. Quickly, when you go into AI, they will show you, the machine, the bearing running, and you'll be able to envisage and even solve problems. So I keep saying that they are supposed to enable you get quicker solution. Previously, we would talk and talk and talk. This person is bringing his idea. This one will go and try an error. Will come back. So we find a challenge with our machines, and it's probably taking us a week to find a solution. Now, because of digitalization and the resources that you have, within 2 hours, something that we previously used a week to solve, we have gotten a lot of insight. And like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. The failure you are experiencing now with your machine, with engineering, has been experienced somewhere. And somebody has been mindful to document the process of solving that problem already. So there's no point reinventing the wheel. All you're doing is you're wasting time. In the mining field, the number of ounces of gold you produce is of essence. And so, assuming you have a machine breakdown and it's taking you 1 week to solve that problem, I'm sorry, but any organization will start rethinking of replacing you. Because what that means is 1 week production of gold has not happened because we have an engineer who is not finding his or her way around. That's what it means. And that is what any leader will interpret that for, especially with the resources that we have now. So make sure you are referring. And remember, wisdom is not in one person's head. And that's where collaboration comes in. Collaboration within and without. Like I said, the failure you're experiencing has been experienced and is documented somewhere. So know the right sites to go to. Know the right applications to use. Because in our field now, in any performance-driven institution, time is of essence.
Thank you. So that is a very, I always call it interesting question, okay? And especially in this time, okay? I call it, it's a revolution, okay? Things are evolving extremely very fast. And I know some of you, maybe if you've shown a bit of interest, you've heard of things like prompt engineering, okay? So if you've been prompting ChatGPT, you've been prompting Copilot, you've been, those of you, I'm sure even in Instagram, because you're social beings, we all are social beings, you probably have seen some bots in Instagram that you could actually ask questions. I've seen it exist in TikTok. So when you interact with a bot, all you are doing is you're prompting it. It's got a pack of knowledge, based on all the interactions it would have been having with millions of users. And just like she said, there's nothing new under the sun, right? That's where the knowledge actually exists. So let me be upfront with your answer. AI, machine learning, data science, just like she said, they are enablers and they are accelerators as well. So in this time and age, it's more of your ability to generalize, right? Because of these tools, You may be a mechanical engineer, but a question could come to you that borders on civil engineering. Because these tools exist, you should be able to leverage on them and get the answers to the civil engineering questions. So it's easy to learn or get familiar with these tools now, okay? Some of us are working, we are very committed workers, but then again, we found ways and means to leverage on these tools. So they are enablers, they are accelerators, they actually can create the difference at the front between you and the next colleague. So invest your time and attention in getting to know them and how to actually, use them to bloat out your work. Thank you.
I'm Eugene, and then I have 2 questions. One, many graduates today enter a job market where opportunities within their fields are limited. And then even when you take some of the careers fairs we've attended, you try to propose a project to some of the companies, and they tend to tell you that your idea is not used in their field of study, hence you could not be helped by them like that. And then some people end up taking training simply to survive out of their field of study. So in such an environment and a situation like that, how can young professionals still build a meaningful long-term career rather than drifting from job to job?
So an idea, a project idea, and presenting it to an organization, and the organization saying that this is not in my area or that's not my focus. I tell you one truth. Organizations are in business to make profit. Nobody is there for humanitarian stuff. Those things come as, salad on the side. It's like you've been presented with fried rice and they give you salad. The main dish is for them to make profit, and that's how you stay relevant, and that's how you stay afloat. Assuming you're an organization, you're not making profits, what does that mean? Just a matter of time and the organization will collapse. So the first priority of every institution is to create value, is to make commercial meaning of their activities, right? Assuming you have a project and you come to me, if I'm sponsoring that project, every organization would want to look at the value that that project brings to them. Recently I did a course in organizational leadership and governance. Now, previously, corporate social responsibility was more like, benevolent something to the community. But look at organizations now. Every organization's corporate social responsibility is a two-way street. They're looking at what they're giving to the environment or the society, but underlining to whatever action they take is the benefits they get. So for you, there's importance in identifying your stakeholders, who your relevant stakeholders are. Not everybody will be your stakeholder, and not everybody will be interested in your project. So the action sits with you, identifying who your stakeholders are. There are some projects that will be beneficial to government of Ghana or an electrical company that will not be beneficial to the mining industry. So assuming you approach the mining industry, they won't see value in sponsoring your project because it won't bring them value. So I need you to get that, and that's the reality. Even you, when you establish your own organization or company, you will be looking to get value from anywhere you put your money. If you start putting money in places where you won't get value, I give you 5 years maximum, your company will collapse. So always look at the value that it brings to you. There are times when it's more like a social responsibility you are supporting, but make sure there's some value that comes back to you. If there's no value, it is not worth investing. So I can understand why organizations have felt that way. So you start by identifying who my key stakeholders are. Not everybody will be your stakeholder. And if you find the wrong stakeholder, you're likely to get this pushback.
Yeah, maybe I will just add a little to it about my experience and, you know, a young national service person that I got to work with many years ago at Alpha South. You know, just like you came fresh from school and, you know, Rough Diamond came in and, you know, started just doing stuff with computers, right? So he had a mentor back in school who gave him pointers that, look, when you get into the mining industry, senior engineers you meet are extremely very busy. They're on the field taking care of execution. Your job would be to just get to find out exactly what they need to do on their computers, and you're not getting time to do. And that was where he built his skill set. So he came in, we started working, and you realize that this is a young graduate, but he was extremely very good with computers. He could turn around reports. He could just turn them around in rapid time. Long story short, he got a job, right before national service ended, he got a job. It's not in Newmont anymore because I would use the word, he outgrew Newmont. But it was the same mindset. Yes, he's laughing. It's funny to think of outgrowing Newmont. But yes, there have been some few, I can mention names. Back in the days, Newmont used to do this talent, is it ET, emerging talent. Yeah, so, Newmont will get young graduate, they'll come into the system and they'll go through a 2-year program. And usually Newmont would have this sort of engagement in school and get, go through interview, writing exams and all that, and they'll get the best and they'll come into the industry. So you would have a chance to encounter with these, and I can tell you for a fact the history of a lot of them who came in have outgrown Newmont. Yeah, so it's possible, right? Yeah, just focus on the core, okay? There are some core things that actually sell and they create value. Every business person or every leader is just looking for how they could, create value. It's always about value proposition. What are you bringing to the table? Okay? What you are bringing to the table, can you ask X or Y or Z to the bottom line? If you could, then that opens the door for you. But if it's just, salad of words, that just doesn't add too much to the table, then it's like, yeah, you're warming the desk, right? When the time is due, the door will be shown for you. Thank you.
Thank you. The second one is, many career discussions emphasize following one's passion or choosing the right career path. But in reality, many graduates simply take whatever job is available to survive, especially in Africa or in Ghana. In such circumstances, how can young professionals make strategic decisions that still move them toward their long-term goals, please? Thank you.
Maybe I'll take this briefly, then Abena will come in. So I used the word when I was answering, I think this gentleman, about we being in the age of the generalist. Okay, we are in the age of the generalist. My background is mining engineering. Okay, maybe for reasons that I have found that technology is actually changing the landscape. Many years ago got so interested, and I'm extremely very passionate about technology. Okay, so I've got a ton of skill set when it comes to technology. Okay, so though mining engineering is my background, but there are some problems that I'll call them wicked problems, that in solving them, you needed to not think as a mining engineer, but you needed to think as a software engineer. Okay, so I don't have a background in computer science, but I had to take myself through a lot of education just to get to the point where I could actually create the solutions to solve those problems. All right, and now they are part of the collection of my skill set. So the job that may be available for you when you're out of school may not necessarily be in your field. Okay, somebody may offer you a job to be a graphic designer. Okay, the question will be, are you going to say you're not going to do it and going to be hungry, sit at home? Of course, the only option for you is to take up the job. How would you do it to the point where you could actually create value for whoever gave you the job? So we are in the age of being a generalist. Now than ever, you know, for a tool like, for those of you who are in civil engineering and mechanical engineering, you are familiar with AutoCAD, right? AutoCAD as a tool now could connect with, I don't know whether you guys have heard of Cloud Code. So Cloud Code can connect to the engine of the AutoCAD in a way that you just tell it what you want. I don't need to be a mechanical engineering specialist or a civil engineering specialist to build a house or to do an interior design using Revit or AutoCAD. I just have to tell Cloud Code what I need because Cloud Code has connected to AutoCAD. And it will give me a design extremely very professional that probably would have taken like 2 weeks for a professional to get the same job done. You would have done it in 30 minutes. So we are in the age of the generalist. You'll graduate here as a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer, but the job that you will find will probably be in photography. Okay, how do you still create value from photography? Thank you.
And I think the word generalist answers the question, right? And like I said, whatever is available to you, if I were you, I'll take advantage of it. Because from school to the boardroom, there's going to come a time, if you are speaking to your area of speciality alone, and you are not able to contribute to other aspects of the organization, I will find you as not adding value. Right? So, if I share my experience with you, I started off as a mechanical engineer. Then I branched off into environment. So I did a bit of utilities management. So boiler, compressor, steam management, I did that. That's environment. Then I went into occupational health and safety, right? Then I did governance. I did business continuity. At this point, assuming there's a meeting and I'm sitting in there, I have a view on safety. I have a view on environment. I have a view on engineering. And I'll have a view on HR. So I won't speak, now I'm an HR professional. I won't speak on HR alone. I'll speak on the other areas because I took advantage of the opportunities that came my way. I learned on the job and I can contribute to it, right? It also makes you very versatile. Like I'm saying, your interest matters, but any opportunity that you get, I will focus on proving to my employer that I bring value to the organization. And then when you start talking about areas of interest to you, I would want to give you that chance because I've seen that whatever I gave you, you have really demonstrated that you have a positive attitude. And wherever you find yourself, you bring value. So I would say, whatever you get, take it. But use that opportunity to prove to everybody who matter that if you give me the opportunity in this other area, I will bring value to the table. But like I said, be a generalist and make sure that from school, now you're doing even for engineering. When I started engineering, we did civil engineering. When you start year one, I don't know if the curriculum has changed. We did civil engineering for a bit. You will do a bit of electrical engineering. You do materials engineering. So you will have a feel of all aspects of engineering. Then I think from second or third year, you start specializing in like mechanical engineering. I specialized in mechanics, right? There are people who specialized in fluid thermodynamics and stuff like that. But I specialized, but you will get a feel of all aspects of engineering. Why is that? Because when you do engineering, when you have to manage a machine, you're going to have to encounter civil challenges because the machine is sitting on a platform and you have to understand the weight, the operation that the machine, how it causes impact on the foundation, which is civil. So that gives you an idea what mixture of, what percentage of cement, what you should have with stones, just to give the strength. And that's what we used to call strength of material, right? The strength to accommodate the vibration that the machine is giving you. So even as a mechanical engineer, you need to understand some bit of electrical, some bit of civil to make it all complete. So we are in a world of being a generalist. Don't limit yourself. will be my take on that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abna. So, due to time factor, we'll take only one last question. And please make your question very brief.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. My name is Christopher Billy Ababio. Please, in Ms. Abna's presentation, she made mention of what is meant for you. So my question is, how do you identify what is meant for you and what is not meant for you? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So as humans, we know our strengths, right? You will know your strengths. You know areas where you struggle. Me, my mother wanted me to be a doctor, but I knew that when I see blood, I cringe, right? So immediately I knew that it's not for me. I can't be a doctor. Patients will die because once I see you bleeding, me, I'll die before you, the patient, will die. So you understand who you are. I think Vicky said that. Understanding who you are, understanding what your strengths are, right? That helps you because look, there's coming a time in the working area where your interest is the only thing that will drive you. And yes, sir, when you wake up in the morning, pana, you have to bath to work, and you don't like what you do. It's so frustrating. There's nothing as frustrating as that. So your interest will drive you. And that's the point. I may start from there. And you start, some of us didn't take our time to understand our interest before even coming into the university. So you are doing a course that you realize this is not for me. It is not late. It is not too late at all. The whole journey is about learning. I think Efua alluded to that. It's about learning and understanding what you have to do. Like I said, now I'm an engineer, I'm in HR now. I found myself eventually, right? So my point is, and it ties in with the question he asked, when you start, you might get things that you think you don't even like. But I've seen people who started, they were given roles, they felt, oh my God, this one there. And now they are pursuing it because they didn't understand what the role entails. They get into it, they understand, they realize, oh, that's a fantastic role. So keep an open mind will be my encouragement to you. Always be open. Take up roles. Later 6 months, you will know whether you like it or not. You will know whether your strength is in something there or not. And don't hesitate to move on. If you realize that, no, I can't stay with this. But he said, be a generalist. Even in moving on, make sure that you gather all the knowledge in that area before you move on. Because you will need it. Now, our roles are so interdependent. I need you to survive. You need me to survive. But if you don't have a clue of my area, I don't have a clue of our area, then we are not able to collaborate. So your own will come, right? Have conversations, but you know yourself, understand your strength, understand your challenges, and then what is meant for you will come eventually. But along the way, whatever you take, don't just tick the box. Make sure that you put yourself into it. You understand it because trust me, the one that is meant for you, when you eventually get there, you will need all the experiences that you've gathered along the way to make yourself successful there.
Thank you very much. That was a very wonderful session we've had. And I know we've learned lots of things from this presentation. Yes, and we wish we could have more questions, but then we'll have to break and take something into our tummies, right? Yes, so I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Edmond Chima and also Mrs. Abna Gia, for the wonderful presentation today. And I hope together we've learned lots of things. And yes, please, one last announcement. We would have the mock interview today and also the CV review. So they'll be at the booth. So if you have your CV with you and you weren't able to review it yesterday, you can show them your CVs and they will do the review for you. And also at the same time, the recruiters will be available for the mock interview. So right after lunch, that is after 1 p.m., we can start with the mock interview and the CV review as well. Thank you very much for your time. Okay, and there is a list to. Okay. So please, if you are here and you hear your name mentioned, you have to be at the reception after lunch. So from civil engineering, we have Cecilia Afrakoma Enchi, Eliano Forsen, Esther Wachua Ejikumen, Kwame Opoku Ameo. And from mechanical, we have Kisiwa Salmet Akia, Pinto Stella Lydia, Shaibu Yakubu Salifu and Tanzania Williams. Then electrical engineering and computer engineering, we have Cristobal Opon Icha, Florence Jenny, Ruby Fiagbe Exonam, and Emmanuel That's Al Hassan Susanna Lamisi and Maclean Nemo Enchi. And from agric engineering, we have Theresa Ata Opoku and Daniel Owusu. And from petroleum engineering, we have Eva Efia Akoto, Erica Wenia Awafu, then Eugene Dia Fimpong. Thank you very much for your time once again. See you. Okay. Yes, a big round of applause as they take their seats. So we can go for our lunch break now. Thank you very much. Hello. Please, if you had questions and
Free. Intelligence and passion. one.